What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Two-Wheeled Rider YouTube channel. My name is Mario Orsini, and today we're going to talk about GoPros. So specifically, we're going to talk about this frame or housing that will fit a GoPro Hero 5, 6, or 7. If you've seen the new Hero 8, you know it doesn't require a frame anymore. But I know a lot of us are still using the Hero 7s right now. This was sent to me by a company called Same Top. We're going to crack this thing open, take a look at it, and see what it's all about. All right, so inside the box, we've got a lens cover. We do have some instructions, but don't really need those. We know how this works. And we've got the frame itself. A couple cool things here. It does come with one of the pins that you can use. It also does have a, I don't know what you call these things, but the little clip thing, like you'll slide into one of the things you're going to stick to the top of your helmet or whatever. So what sets this frame apart from, you know, the standard GoPro Hero 7 frame? Well, I'll show you some close-ups. The biggest thing that sets this frame apart is, I believe this frame is $12.99 versus the GoPro price, which is significantly higher, albeit it does come with one when you get it new, but if you lose it, break it, that sort of thing, those things happen. You know, this is a cheaper replacement. I've used a lot of non-GoPro accessories. I mean, you can hop on Amazon, which I'll link this thing in the description below, but you can hop on Amazon and buy a ton of these little connectors and screws and everything else made by aftermarket companies that really you can't tell the quality difference. So let's check this thing out. I've got another Hero 7 here. Let's see how the fitment is on it. I mean, it's in there nice and sturdy. So something else that separates this frame from your standard Hero 7 or 5 or 6 frame, you do have the cutout on top so you can get to the power button. Over on the side, or the record button, over on the side, this one is exposed where the Hero 7 frame, it's got a little rubbery thing built in there to hit the power button. I can say from experience, I actually kind of prefer the exposed one. This really doesn't provide any added protection, and it can lead to, especially with your motorcycle gloves on, make it a little bit harder to engage. But the big advantage is over here, if you know, all of us that are running these things to run microphones through, if you've got it mounted to your helmet or your motovlogging or whatever, you've got to, the only way you can get this door off is if you take your camera out of the frame and then you can remove the door and then put it back in, and then you can get to the mic adapter at that point, or if you're running power to it or whatever the case may be. Where this one has a large enough cutaway that you can do it without removing it from the frame. Now, in my experience, I would not feel comfortable with just plugging in and leaving this piece hanging out here like that. I've had to replace one of these in the past. These little bad boys are ridiculously expensive for what they are. I want to say I had to pay like $20, $30 for that replacement. So, but it's still nice. You don't have to take it out of the frame. You can just pop this off, throw it in your tank bag, jacket pocket, you know, whatever the case may be, and easily access this. The other nice thing about it is if you do get caught out in the rain and you want to go ahead and unplug that mic, which I typically do, you don't have to pull over and I mean, you should pull over, but you don't have to pull over and take it out of the frame or anything. You can just pull over, snap your little cover back on there, and then your camera goes back to being 100% waterproof. So I've tested out some other frames. In fact, let me show you this other one I have. All right, so this is another frame that I got. Again, I'll show you close-ups. They're pretty similar. This is made by some other company in that you can access the door panel over here. But one thing that I like that they did on this frame, which is better than this other aftermarket frame and also the GoPro frame, is if we get a close-up down here, we can see that the speaker hasn't been covered up. So if you're playing this back and you want to, you know, see what you shot and hear how the sound and everything is, and you just want to run it off of the GoPro itself and not run it through an app or, you know, obviously import it into your editing software, you should be able to get a little bit better sound quality. So the last thing that's included in this package, which was the first thing that I mentioned, is this little lens cover. Now, I normally keep my GoPros, I have one of the GoPro cases. I've shown that in videos before, but if you're gonna throw it into a bag or something, you wanna make sure that lens isn't getting scratched up, which these are. These lenses on the Hero 5s and later, you can twist these off. This isn't the actual lens, the lens cover, but it can still get scratched, and you know, the scratched lens, you're not gonna get as good of footage. I've got a few of these, GoPro makes them themselves, but the fact that you get this cover, you get another clip, you get another screw, and you get the housing for $12.99. You can't go wrong. I mean, it's a plastic housing. You're gonna need it. It never hurts to have a spare. So yeah, I'd recommend this. Check it out. Like I said, I'll link it in the description below. One other thing, or two other things, I just want to give you guys a couple of pro tips when it comes to using GoPros, especially on motorcycles. So the first one is, these little things here, like I said, you can get them from GoPro, which they're expensive, or you can get a bunch of them off Amazon. And then obviously you got your double stick foam tape on the back. So you stick this on a helmet, maybe you let a buddy borrow it, and then he's done with it and he just rips it off and gives it back to you. Most people just throw these away, but if you want to reuse them, you can. All you need to do is go buy some Scotch foam double stick tape. I think it says VBH on it. This is the same exact stuff. What I do, and this one's a little bit thinner, but I do have the double stick tape that's of the same width as these. You can get a little bit wider. Just lay this down on here and cut it off, and you can reuse these things over and over and over. The only thing I'd recommend before using this is take a little bit of rubbing alcohol, or a little bit of, usually rubbing alcohol is what I use, and just make sure you clean that surface up real good, and it'll stick just as well as the factory stuff. Speaking of sticking and not losing your cameras, I went over this in a video earlier this year, I think, but these camera tethers, and I'll link these below too. These things are awesome. I think you get a pack of, what is there, like 10 of them in here. We use these, especially riding off-road with the kids, when we stick GoPros on them, because in a hard crash, you know, the GoPro could come flying off. So what this is, it's a same sort of deal, double stick tape with a little plastic mount, and then it's got a little nylon cord that just threads through where the screw goes in. And should this pop off, because this comes undone, it's still going to be tethered on. My recommendation is, when using them, try to put it in a spot, and you can test it beforehand, that, you know, especially if you're planning on riding for a while, like if you are running it for like a hare scramble or something, that maybe, you know, when it hangs down, you can tuck it into your jersey or something like that to keep it from flopping around. Just an idea. So anyway, once again, check out this case if you need a case for or a frame for a GoPro Hero 5, 6, or 7. Seems quality made. You know, I've used other aftermarket ones. They all work fine. This one just got a couple of features that, you know, this one didn't have. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider hitting that subscribe button, because if you like motorcycles, well, this is the place to be. If you have any questions about this frame, especially if you're watching this a few months from now, wondering if I'm still using it, which I can tell you I will be, because I rotate these things in and out all the time for all the different videos we shoot, let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, talk to you again soon.